Hi guys, welcome to Creation Lab Soapy channel. Today we're working on another one of our soaps for our July theme, which is it's my birthday, so it's all the things I love and enjoy. Since I was a little girl and I can't remember, I've always been a Superman fan. A little bit of the girl in me is the romance between him and Lois Lane and how sweet he was with her. You know, just he loved her and he was willing to keep her protected rather than his own, needs and that. As well as I grew up watching George Reeves, who wasn't the first Superman ever. I can't remember the first name. I want to say Alan Kirk originally played Superman, and of course there was a radio show. But then there was George Reeves, and a little tidbit story that I loved. One of my favorite ones was with George Reeves. Back in the day, kids didn't know a whole lot about weapons and things. And I mean, we're talking black and white. The original George Reeves Superman show was actually sponsored by the IRS. And they talked a lot about your green stamps and things like that. And they had lots of commercials, believe it or not, for the IRS back in the day. So, you know that they had that, and they had commercials even back then. They've been a thing from the beginning of times. But anyway, he was at some meet and greet, and this kid had brought his dad's gun with him, and he wanted to shoot Superman, George Reeves, and see the bullets, as they always on the TV show, bounced off of him. George Reeves, as quick as a whip, says, "Oh, no, we can't have you do that because they'll bounce off of me and somebody's gonna get hurt." And he was able to think of that in the moment. Here's a kid with a loaded gun at you, and you were able to think of that. And of course the kid goes, "Oh, okay." And he essentially saved himself and, everybody else and everything, but still kept that kid's belief in Superman. Superman standed up and still stands for truth, justice, and also known as the American way, but just good and all, as anybody who's watched Superman movies, as read the comic books, he's had a lot of struggles too, but he always ended up siding and doing what is right. I always joke around though, Superman's true heroes of the whole entire thing was Mama and Papa Kent, because if they didn't raise him right, he could have been a completely different, with all those powers, a completely different person. So what you teach your kids and how you bring them up says a lot to say anything. I kind of joke around that Bizarro would be if he had been raised with bad parents, but Bizarro's just the opposite reality. I know I'm talking a lot of nerd stuff, some of you are going like, what? But anyway, Christopher Reeves was my favorite Superman. Absolutely adore him, and he was just phenomenal. And even though people hate Brandon's portrayal, but I absolutely love him too, and I love that. But you know what? I love it especially because it showed the humanness, and like he made a mistake and Lois was angry, but he had a son, and I thought that's so wonderful. Instead of making Superman this lonely being on the planet Earth, and and that he has somebody else, he has some connection to his blood, and I thought that was wonderful. I really wish that I know a lot of people were liking the action part of it, and they're like, that movie didn't have a lot. Me, it had what I needed. and I do like Harry Campbell's Superman too, and things. I didn't like when he was all scruffy, in the parts and stuff, but it's each person and each director's take. But in another sense, Superman also symbolizes, as I said, watching Superman with my grandpa was my Superman, he absolutely embodied everything that he taught and all the goodness and everything. I called him Papa, my grandpa was Papa, and you can find a sweeter soul than him. So with that, I'm gonna make a Superman soap. Now I'm gonna have an embed of the Superman symbol that I'm gonna, when I cut, put on the front. That embed hasn't showed up yet, but I wanted to get my soaps done so they're ready for July 1st. You know, and so this is gonna be my second one. We already did musical inspiration. That video would be posted before this one. So if you haven't watched that, feel free to go back and watch the other. In fact, you can watch all our videos. There are gonna be times where we don't do things so good or we do things wrong. We're growing, we're still new to soap making. I think you're new until you've been doing it 4 or 5 years. So we're just barely started on our second year. And really our first year with cold process soaps, because our first year was a lot of melt and pour and experimenting with bath bombs. It wasn't until our first year we actually tried cold process soaps and became an official business. So with that, I'm gonna adjust the camera angle and we're gonna be doing the different swirl. We're gonna be doing a swirl. Superman colors, what else? All right, thanks guys, and all right, we'll get you adjusted and bear with this part. Let's see, all right, this is a 40-ounce recipe. You can see I put it so I don't get it mixed up. It'd be really bad if I got the amount of lye, because I've got a 35, a 50, and that, so this is how I do it so I know what one goes with what one. I do them all together, master batch them, and then make all the soaps in 1 day or 2 days. All right, so we're gonna start out with putting this in there, and I have Tessa Silk. So you guys see in those little droplets, the things, I put Tessa Silk to try. I'm, again, experimenting in that, see if it helps with softer silkiness when you do it on your skin. All right, and I'm gonna mix this up like we normally do. And I'm gonna do this a light one because when I mix my colors and I mix my fragrance, we're gonna be doing some more blending, so. And that should be good. And I think I am gonna pull you back on the camera just a little bit. There you go. All right, so we're gonna be doing 3 colors. We're gonna do Really Red Mica, Superman Red, by Nurture Soaps, Man Mica, and I'm new to them, but I'm loving, the colors look so much like what they show on the package when you actually blend them. They haven't had too much morphing. So this is Twilight. It's Superman Blue, in my opinion. And I'm not gonna put as much yellow, but I gotta have a little yellow in there. And so this is Brambleberry's Yellow Mica. There's not much left. We're gonna probably use the whole rest of that. So we're gonna start out with getting our cups. And so we'll start out with just doing a little bit for yellow. We'll see if that's too much. I can always change it if I need to. I think that's gonna be perfect. We'll do a little bit of scraping, which ends up being surprisingly a lot of soap sometimes. It's getting hot in here. I turn off the Kohler when I soap because you don't want to hear that hum, I'm sure. But I think we're gonna have to turn it down in between. So this fragrance oil is not gonna make any sense to you with how it has to do with Superman. It's more because this is my birthday soap for my birthday month. I'm gonna do something that smells good to me. And I'm using, this is by Scented Expression Supplies. And it's called Carnival. And so what it says is it's cotton candy, caramel apples, and funnel cake. And I just thought that would be kind of fun. Like I said, it's not gonna make any sense at all to you. So there's pretty much not a whole lot of this yellow left, but I don't wanna put too much in. We'll see what we do. That should be enough. So enough for maybe one more soap. And then let's wipe that out. blue go in here. Look at how gorgeous that blue is. Ooh. My favorite color is blue. When I first moved into my house, I went blue, blue, blue everywhere. Light blues, creamy blues. Not any really bright ones. There were light, but not bright ones. But then slowly, as I got into a relationship and he came to live in that, we kind of changed some stuff because they were honestly a lot of girly colors, so, of blues. And now we got grays in the living room and that. Still blue in my bathroom, in my master bathroom, and my bedroom. But it's kind of funny, but I absolutely love blue. All right, I'm gonna start with yellow. We're gonna mix that up, and I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna mix in the fragrance a little bit, and then I may end up doing a little swirl on it, but I want to keep it fluidy for the swirls, so we're gonna do this best as we can. Scrape that off. All right. We'll do red. Now, True Red is always has been in the past Really Red Mica by Nurture Soap. And I think it's still a Nurture Soap, but I heard there's something called Trial by Fire everybody's talking about that is a really red that doesn't bleed at all. I'm gonna definitely have to get that, but I'm gonna use up my red first before I try that one. So this blue is a little darker than I expected, but I think it's gonna morph back, so I'm gonna trust it. So I don't know if you can see too well that, but I'm gonna trust it. It's still pretty good. So, trying to decide if I should put a little bit more in there or if it's gonna make it darker. I know. I think I might add, I'm gonna step away for a second, if I can get to it. Little midnight blue. Let's see if that kind of brightens it up a little. So far though, every color with Mad Micas, and I might not end up needing it, but you know, the soap's important to me, so we'll do this. And I'm gonna put fragrance in there, a little into here, a little into there. Oh, those are pretty good. Oh, it smells so good. All right, so then I'll go and, oh yeah, I was gonna do the spoon first and then just give it a quick whirl, but it won't be too much of one. And I'm gonna do the red. Get that fragrance incorporated. And this blue, which has the new blue added in. See how that works with it. It's a little extra. That one will definitely need the blender. All right, to yellow. So I step on my cord. It's not very much yellow, so we didn't need to do a whole lot. Pretty good. We got to get that off the side there, huh? Didn't see that. Sometimes you guys will see stuff on the camera angle. I see that sometimes with Katie, she misses something or that, and so you're like, you're missing one. But just, but then I'm sure she sees later, but like, some like that, you miss a little bit. It's all about angle. All right, I think that blue is gonna go back to what I need. And it's a pretty good blue anyway. Doesn't have to be perfect all the time. I'm telling myself that more than you guys. All right, so we're gonna just do this. Just put a whole layer of that in the bottom. Then we're gonna do the red. And then a yellow. I'm gonna do a bunch of passes onto that. And then the blue going down the middle. The red going in the outsides. I've got little droplets everywhere. Blue, you get the idea, you know. Just getting them in there. And then yellow. Hopefully yellow doesn't take over. I'm gonna put the rest in, then top it off with a blue. And then I did the Peace, Love, and Soap, and I did literally equal amounts of, it was all the colors of the rainbow. And I did equal amounts of them all. But then when the soap cured, the red, oranges, and yellows took over, and you can barely see the greens, purples, and blues. But I ended up making the embeds, because thankfully I made them afterwards. I made the embeds in blues, purples, and that to kind of adjust the overbearingness of the other two. And do that. Whoa. Missed my target, don't I? Okay, I'm gonna tap down real quick, get that a little bit over here. I'm just gonna get all this red on, and then I'm gonna put the blue, and then I'm gonna kind of do a little swirl on top. No glitter on this at all. Superman don't need glitter. He shines on his own. Now, I come from a family of a bunch of nerds. Even my nephew, he's true to Superman, or Spider-Man. He's probably gonna kick my butt if he watches this video. I met Spider-Man. And we've always had this thing like, Superman, no, it's Spider-Man. But my daughter was Batman. She would tease me with Batman a lot. I know I'm sorry for you Batman lovers, but I've just never been a very big fan of Batman. But if you kind of can figure that a lot of my thing has to do with the romantic notion, girly notions that we have, and how Batman kind of has relationships, just, you know, but never keeps them. There's no intention. And I always feel so bad for these girls. They're like falling in love with him, think they got something going on, and he's not revealing who he is. And so as soon as they get too close, you know, they're gonna be gone. Let's see if I can take some of this blue, move it down here. So I always feel bad for them. He's good with protecting. I give him that. He's just not very good. He's not very good as a partner. So, you know, I'll take Superman. He was the first comic book character. In a comic strip, there was some jungle. I can't remember the name of it. Probably should, if I'm going to be talking about it, be having that on my, you know, in my head, but no, I don't have it, so I'll do a little tap. And then we're just going to do a little bit of swirling together. Not terribly too much because we don't want to make purple, but I want the red to come through and the blue. So I'm going to pull some of that red. And then I'll scrape a little of the side. Maybe with this, that would probably make more sense. have to fix that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh, what it would be to have the original first Superman comic. That thing's worth millions of dollars. Actually, I'd rather have the $1 million than the comic book. Maybe that doesn't make me the biggest fan ever, but you know. All right, so here's my mashup of all the blues, yellows, and reds, and this will be Superman. And again, I'm gonna cut these, and then on the front, I'm gonna have the Superman, you know, the signal, the S, and that. I think it's gonna be gorgeous. And thank you guys for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe and give us comments. This soap will be available at our Etsy store, our Creation Lab, July 1st. Link always will be down below. Thank you guys.